Now we're in round 3 of the Use It and Lose It tournament. That means that the big boys are unbanned. It means that we can now bring Boyai, Tylus, Arverni and Rome. Arguably the top factions in the game. This game it's also a best of 3 now, so we will have 3 games per matchup, which is quite nice, I think, because that allows us to see how and if the players manage to adapt to their opponent. So, for Suebi, we have 2 spare levy, one on each flank, so total of 4. They are backed up by Bodenas. Berserkers, some Swordmasters in the center, 4 Swordmasters, because why wouldn't you have 4 Swordmasters? A Bloodthorn, the general is Ariovistus. We have a Hex Bearer here for the morale effect, presumably. Germanic Slingers, a total of 4 Germanic Slingers. And that's it for Suebi, together with these Germanic Scout Riders. So only 2 Germanic Scout Riders. He could have brought 4. For Arverni, first time we've seen Arverni yet in the tournament, we have Levi Freeman. We have Chosen Swords, Oathsworn, Center, and then Light Horse, no Heavy Horse. We'll see how that plays out. Against Suebi on this type of map, it can be argued that Heavy Horse is less effective than it would be in the open. Well, it certainly is. But even on a map like this where there is a lot of forest, Heavy Horse is super nice late game. But I kind of understand that Arverni wants to just bring on the Chosen Swords, bring on the Oathsworn, and let them carry the day. Now the problem is, if Ariovistus hits with Pride, these Chosen are going to disappear. It's going to go better for the Oathsworn, of course, but it still would be an issue for them getting charged by Fast Charge and Pride. We also have some Celtic Youths out here on the flanks. Will be fairly effective in screening the Germanic Scout Riders as long as they stay behind the Levi Freeman. Arverni pulling back. And it's always nice to have some skirmishers with Suebi so that you don't just have one way of winning the battle. So if Fast Charge somehow fails, you will have the ability to absorb a lot of enemy missiles, and you will have the ability to cause some damage to key units. So in a one-on-one fight, Swordmasters lose heavily to Oathsworn, but if the Oathsworn take a few volleys from these Germanic Slingers, then things start looking a lot better for the Swordmasters. Moving the Germanic Scout Riders up on the flanks here. Arverni keeps pulling back, but at some point Arverni is going to run out of space to maneuver. So a patient Suebi player is going to be completely fine having the enemy pulled back like this. Because the only thing that's happening is that he's delaying the inevitable fast charge. At some point he has to engage. And not being able to kite far enough back could be a problem. So here we have the Light Horse running up to the front. The Slingers pull back. I don't really know that they needed to. Getting rid of the Light Horse would be very nice this early. Essentially leaving Arverni without melee cavalry. On the flanks we have Levi Freeman and Celtic Youths. The Celtic Youths, I wouldn't bring them myself. The range is just too short. Germanic Slingers now firing at the Oathsworn. Very nice, getting some damage in on the enemy general before the main engagement starts. He is not going to be losing men rapidly, but he is going to be feeling the pain. And it also means that the Chosen have to engage here. And the Celtic Light Horse goes right into Spear Levy and loses a lot of men from Precursors. Fast Charge is being activated. We have a Wolf Warrior here, actually. It doesn't have its charge bonus on just yet. Now it does. But let's see if Arverni can pull back here. Arverni is getting some horrible engagements over on the flanks with the Light Horse against the Spear Levy, essentially wasting the cavalry. Now the Bloodsword get blocked very nicely by the Levy Free here. The Swordmasters against Chosen Swords, the Swordmasters lose. We have Wodeness Spears against Oathsworn, and let's just see what happens to Wodeness when they get charged without fast charge against Oathsworn. Oathsworn 8 casualties, the Wodeness are about to taking about 40 casualties, so not a good engagement there for Wodeness. But in the center, the Chosen Swords are losing heavily, even though the Wolf Warriors got charged. That's fast charge for you. Arverni losing hardcore on the flanks. Swordmasters don't have the charge anymore, getting smashed here by Oathsworn and Chosens at the same time. On the flanks though, the Wodeness Spears losing decisively until they get supported here by Germanic Scout Riders, and the Oathsworn try to pull away and get at these units, and that saves the Wodeness. The Wodeness before that didn't even have 20 kills, but now that the Oathsworn try to pull out, they are getting the kills. The Wolf Warriors are getting smashed here by Chosens. It looks like the Swordmasters disengaged, which was a good idea by them. Now Pride being used here, bringing the weapon damage up to on the Swordmasters, very important. The Oathsworn are still winning decisively. Now they're just winning. Should start losing pretty soon. The Berserkers haven't gone berserk. But on the flanks, Suebi has been able to overpower, holding the Oathsworn here. The Oathsworn keep pulling out, and I think this is because they had attack orders on the Wodeness, and they're in shield wall, so now they're really messing up here. And Vercingetorix is using his Relentless, increasing the attack value of his units. And this increases the attack value on all units, not just the ones that are inside of his radius. But the Swordmasters are now in even combat with the Oathsworn. It looks like the Oathsworn the Oathsworn are once again. The shield wall is messing up to an epic degree. When you have several units in an engagement, the shield wall can really mess up, so it's smart to get additional attack orders, because this allows the Swordmasters and the Berserkers to do much better than they otherwise would, because of the shield wall messing up. Same thing over here. The shield wall is messing up to a significant degree. So this Oathsworn unit has really not been effective. After killing the Wodeness, it's sort of not been in the battle in the way that it needs to. And now the Oathsworn gets charged by Swordmasters, and it's a close victory there for Suebi. I thought that was quite convincing. Now, one of the strengths of Arverni, it's not just the Chosen Swords aren't even that good. They become great when you pair them with Heavy Horse, and it's the same for Boyai. So just bringing Light Horse, you can see the performance of the Light Horse here being sent straight into Spear Levy. They didn't manage to defeat a single Spear Levy, and they were just wasted. Same with the Celtic Youths, wasted. And that allowed these the Suebi units to do reasonably well. Now you can see the Wodeness charging into Oathsworn. Didn't like that one bit. But the Swordmasters were able to do fairly well here against Arverni. In no small part because the Swordmasters were, in my opinion, able to get the better engagements. The fast charge didn't get all the charges that it needed. However, what happened with when Arverni starts pulling back and the formation sort of breaks up, Suebi starts getting more favorable engagements. And 168 kills on Bloodsworn, that's very nice. A single experience Chevron. These guys, 172 kills, didn't even take a single casualty, it seems. Maybe they took one. But although these Swordmasters are inferior to the Oathsworn, the rest of the Suebi army here was, in my opinion, better than the support that the Oathsworn had, because the Oathsworn needs support, and in this battle, Masterbean took it convincingly, but Babykiller's Oathsworn in shield wall messed up pretty bad. When you have two units that cost more than 2,500, you have almost 25% of your army not performing the way it needs to against key enemy units. That is a problem. So we'll see what happens in the next battle. This was the first in a best of 3. Strength and Honor.